Hi, I'm Mitchell from the Masters of Brew Homebrew Club, and today I want to show you how to pack off entries for shipping to a competition. Seems like a weird video to make, but if you talk to people who receive entries at homebrew competitions, they will tell you horror stories of the way that people pack their homebrew. So I want to show you something really simple and really safe. It's something I've been using for years, as do a lot of people I know. This isn't something brand new and original that's going to change the world. A lot of people use this method, but a lot don't, so I hope it'll help you out. I started homebrewing in the 1980s, which I can't believe how long ago that was. But by the 90s, homebrew competitions were starting to crop up here and there. And to me, a homebrew competition is very, very important. Not to get a ribbon or a medal, but instead to get feedback on your beer. You know, if you're giving your homebrew out to your friends, they're going to sample it and say, oh, that's good, I love this, and who knows whether they really do or not. But certainly they probably don't have the educated palates to be able to discern the nuances of different styles of homebrew, different styles of beer. If you go to a competition, you're going to actually be sending your beer out to people who are trained, who can talk about whether or not it's to style and tell you what you need to do and what you need to tweak on your recipes. And that's the real payoff. The payoff is getting better at your craft. It's being able to produce a better beer. So if you're doing it to win a medal or win a ribbon, you know, people don't understand it. Hundreds and sometimes thousands of people enter competitions. The chance of getting a first place, second place, third place is kind of small, no matter how good your beer is, because certain things are subjective. But if you're looking for feedback and you're looking for the sheet that tells you about your beers and what might have been good and what might have been bad, then you're not going to be disappointed at any time. Well, let's get started. First of all, I use a 12 by 10 by 8 box. That's 12 inches by 10 inches wide by 8 inches high. This one I got at the post office. Just a couple of bucks. You can buy them other places like Walmart, probably even cheaper. This holds 2 different entries. Now, to get started, you know, it comes flat, so you put it together, tape across this way, make a plus sign. And I always start out, if I'm using, there's 2 types of bubble wrap, by the way. The small bubbles and the large bubbles. I use both, I don't care. If I'm using the smaller bubbles, I'll put in a bottom layer just to get started. And then I'll put in a layer going this way. And another layer going in the opposite direction, perpendicular. Now by doing this, you cushion the sides and you've given a couple of extra layers to the bottom to protect it. And once you do that, your box is ready to go. Now let's talk about your entries. Of course, the entry needs to be a plain bottle. Some contests will let you get away with having Sam Adams or a Belgian brewing company, people that actually have custom bottles. They don't want anything that's going to be unique to you, though, that's going to give away who brewed the beer. So I always try to use just plain bottles, and of course plain bottle cap as well. As you know, you print off the entry labels and you secure them to the bottle with a rubber band, not tape, not glue, but just with a rubber band, so that the people receiving them can process them very easily. So the first thing we want to do is to use gallon Ziploc freezer bags. Okay, they make gallon storage bags as well, but you want the freezer bags because they're heavier. Okay, and I've got a couple of those to get started, and you're going to take each bottle and you're going to put it inside the bag like so. And then you simply roll it up and seal the bag. It's that easy. Now what this does is, if you happen to have a loose cap, a cap that didn't get a good seal, and you get leakage, it's going to hopefully preserve the liquid inside the bag so it doesn't contaminate the rest of the package. There's no guarantee of that, but it's a good first line of defense. Now the problem would come if you happen to have breakage and you get a sharp edge on the bottle where it breaks, and then it might go through and actually puncture the bag and let the liquid out. But we have some other layers to help prevent that as well. But this is the first one, very easy to do. I'll do all 4 bottles. This is 2 different entries for one contest. Most of the contests you'll find need 2 bottles for an entry, and I put 2 entries per box. Okay, we've got one more. Goes in the gallon bag, just like so. And that's it. That's the first layer. Now, after that, I take bubble wrap, and I'm going to wrap each bottle in bubble wrap to help protect it during shipment. And I like to see if it's the big bubbles, I like to see 2 layers around it. If it's the smaller bubbles, maybe 3. But they're not huge. When you get it wrapped around, put a piece of tape, and you're good to go. You see how quick this is? Shipping doesn't take any time at all. Like, the hardest part is waiting for your homebrew to be judged and getting back your judge sheets. There's 2. We'll quickly do these 2. And once this is done, we'll do the final step. And there is the last one. Okay. Now at this point you can't read the labels anymore, so it's very important to keep your entries segregated so you know exactly which entry is which. The final step for packing the bottles is to use these hefty 2.5 gallon multi-purpose bags. And they have a zip seal on them as well. What I'll do is take the first bottle, put it in, and take it all the way to the bottom. Just like that. Second bottle, same thing. And then, most of the homebrew competitions that you're going to enter require an entry form and another sheet stating that you have paid for the entry, and those just go right on top. Slide those right on top like that. Now whoever opens this package is going to have everything they need for this particular entry. They're going to have both bottles, they're going to have the entry form, they're going to have proof of payment, and they're going to be ready to go. So, I take that, and I lay it horizontally in the box. So it's now at the bottom of the box, as you can see. Now, while I'm packing the second one, let me say a word about that. A lot of people kind of cringe at the idea of shipping your bottles horizontal. They say, oh, it's going to settle strange, and the yeast at the bottom is going to go to the side. Well, let me assure you that in shipping your bottles, it's going to get turned every possible way. Once they're scanned, they're going to be stacked with other boxes that are being shipped in whatever the most convenient way is for the shipper. And that may mean on their side, that may mean upside down. So just because you pack your bottles standing vertically doesn't mean they're going to ship like that. I assure you they're not. So I don't have any problem with shipping mine horizontal. Now at the contest, when they receive your entries, they're going to take them out and they're going to stand them up so that they can be settling out. And this will take a little bit of time, which is why I would never enter a competition that's going to be judged in a day or two. I don't want my bottle to arrive on Friday and the competition is Saturday, because it won't have time to settle out. I always try to send it a week or so in advance. The second one goes right on top, just like that. And then you fold those side layers in to give it some padding. And if you need a little extra room, then just get more bubble wrap. Fill it like so. You are ready to go at this point. You close your box. You're going to tape it across in one direction, across in the other direction. I always take scissors or a pen and just go over it, making sure that the tape adheres really well to the box so that it won't come off in shipping. Now, Let's talk about shipping itself. It is illegal for you to ship alcoholic beverages through the U.S. Postal Service. Can't do it. It's against the law. Post 9/11, they're really careful about things that get shipped. And if you were to do this, you're breaking a federal law, not something I want to do. UPS and FedEx, any independent carrier, it's perfectly legal to ship homebrew. No problem at all. In fact, you can tell them that you're shipping yeast samples for evaluation, which you are. There's yeast in your beer, and your beer is going to be evaluated. Some people, if they have to say what's in the box, they'll say it's food products that won't spoil, non-spoilable food. Whatever, I bypass all that and just ship it myself. It's very easy. I use UPS, by the way. Nothing against FedEx. They're both great. I just happen to have a UPS drop just a couple of blocks from my house that makes it very easy. But you can go online at ups.com and register a username and password and put your address in so that every time you go to it, it goes ahead and fills out everything for you and you're ready to go pretty quickly. I print out a label. I'll put in the address that I'm shipping to for the competition. It charges to my credit card. It prints off this label. I put the label on and I tape the label down, and I tape every surface of it, so I completely cover the label with shipping tape. And by doing that, this is ready to drop off. If you go to a you ship it place, one of these little places in a strip mall, they will ask you to fill out a form that will ask what is in the box, and that's when you have to start coming up with non-perishable food items or yeast samples for evaluation. If you tell them it's homebrew, you may or may not have a problem. They are educated in that it's illegal to ship through the United States Postal Service, so if you tell them it's homebrew, are they going to be able to discern the difference between UPS and USPS? And they'll know it's illegal somewhere. Do they know it's not illegal everywhere? I don't know. I don't want to take that chance. I just print it off, tape the label to the box, and now this box is ready to go. You can take it to the you ship it place and you can give it to them and say, this is ready to go. I'm just doing a drop off. No questions, no forms, nothing like that. That's exactly what I do. I have a place I drop my packages off a couple of blocks from here. I'll go. This is ready to go for competition. This is a real entry that I just packed rather, that you're seeing me send off today. So this is exactly how I'm shipping it. That method is, I think, far superior, using just a few items. And they don't cost that much. The most expensive part is the shipping, which always costs between $10 and $15. That is worth it to me to have my homebrew evaluated by a judge who is educated in that. And to me, that's invaluable. I think it should be for everybody, because that is what lets you improve your craft. Also, with this way, it's easy for the people unpacking it. No problem at all. If you've ever talked to anybody who works a homebrew competition and they get a package in and it's full of the styrofoam peanuts, they go crazy, because they start pulling the bottles out, and of course there's static electricity between the glass and the peanuts of the styrofoam, and so you're pulling it out and the peanuts are going everywhere, and they've now got a huge mess to clean up. They're not happy about that a bit. So this is clean, it's easy, it's ready to go. That said, I'm going to go take my package to the UPS drop, and then I'm going to come back, probably have a homebrew, sit back and wait to hear how I did in the competition and what I can do to improve my homebrew. Thanks for listening. I hope that you learned something. I should take this.